What's up, guys? Welcome to day 11 of your 14-day challenge. Today's practice will be all about core strength and really working that sense of power from the center of the body. Now, I know sometimes when we think of the words core strength, it gets cringy, but I promise this practice will be fun and enjoyable. So jump into something comfy and let's go. Begin in a reclined position. Lie out comfortably on your mat. Let your eyes close. And take a few slow, steady breaths in and out. And this will just give you a chance to get centered, to relax a little bit, and to prepare yourself for your practice. Start to feel your breath more in your belly and in the sides of your waist. You'll be able to use your breath not only to keep you steady and relaxed, but to create more of an activation in your core, so you're promoting extra strength and stability in your body. Take a few more of those breaths into your lower belly. Bend up your knees. Curl your knees to your chest. And take a few breaths here. You can roll from side to side a few times if you like. Then, keeping your knees bent, reach your arms up toward the ceiling. Engage your front core muscles, your abdominals, just by drawing your belly button toward your spine. Your lower back feels pretty flat to the ground. Now keep that, and as you inhale, stretch your right leg forward and your left arm overhead, using that breath to help brace the core, and then exhale back to center. Try the other side. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, back to center. Keep going. Inhale, right leg, left arm. Back to center. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Back to center, exhale. Now keep alternating sides with your breath. You're going slowly enough that you have the time to take a full breath, and you're allowing yourself to move with a lot of integrity, really good alignment and form. Two more on each side. One more on each side. Hug your knees to your chest and just let your muscles relax. Then send both legs up toward the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your head and lift your head and shoulders, creating that same activation in your core, flatness through your lower back. With your inhale, you're going to bend your right knee and twist your left elbow toward it. You can bring the left leg down lower, closer to the ground, just depending on how well you can maintain that nice position through your back. And then the exhale brings you back to center, both legs up. As you inhale, bend your left knee, twist your right elbow across to the knee, and bring your right leg down. Exhale, back to center, both legs up. Inhale, left elbow, right knee. Exhale, center. Inhale, right elbow, left knee. Exhale, center. Inhale, left elbow, right knee. Exhale, center. Inhale, right elbow, left knee. Exhale, center. 2 more of each. Inhale, left elbow, right knee. Exhale, center. Inhale, right elbow, left knee. Exhale, center. 1 more of each. Inhale, left elbow, right knee. Exhale, center. And inhale, right elbow, left knee. Exhale, center. Release your head and bring your knees back to your chest. Let both of your knees twist all the way over to the left-hand side until you come into a nice reclined twist. You can open your right arm to the right, relax your muscles, and just take a few breaths to soften into the twist. Twist back through center. Take your knees over to the right hand side and open your left arm to the left. Take your twist back to center and bring yourself all the way up to seated. From seated, come onto all fours and come into a neutral position so your back is flat. Tone your core in, pulling belly button to spine, and keep that, but you're going to lower yourself onto your right elbow. Extend your right leg straight back behind you and extend your left arm forward. You're going to hold here for 10 seconds. So you're keeping the core muscles on, you're lengthening out through your leg and your arm, and you're breathing. The breath is going to help engage that extra core strength. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. You can bring your left elbow to the mat, right knee down. Switch over so you're on your left elbow. Core is in. Stretch your left leg back and reach your right arm forward. We're going to hold for 10. And just keep your breath going. For 3. For 2 and 1. Release that down. Come up onto both palms. Tuck your toes under and just head back into downward facing dog. Let your hips rise up and back, gently stretching the weight back into your legs. And you can linger in the pose like this, or maybe add in some movement. You can slowly pedal your heels downward to add some stretch to your hamstrings and calf muscles. From downward dog, lower your knees down and stretch back into child's pose. Come forward onto your hands and knees. And this time we're going to go down onto both elbows. Place the elbows about shoulder width apart and bring your hands together or interlace your fingers together. Step one foot back, then the other to arrive in a forearm plank position. Draw your abdominals in, lengthen your chest forward, and we're going to move from the feet right on your toes. So you're pressing forward an inch or two, and then you're drawing back by pressing through your heels. Forward slowly and back. Okay, so you're doing this with lots of control, just making sure that you're not dropping in your lower back. You're really keeping belly button to spine. You're keeping your legs, your glutes engaged, and you're also pushing through your arms so that you're working through your shoulders and upper back. 5 more seconds to go. Come to center and then just do a sweet belly flop. Let your belly rest right down onto the mat. You can separate your hands apart. Place your forearms parallel to each other on the mat. Tone in your lower belly so it's drawing away from the floor. Squeeze into your glutes and back muscles and curl your chest up into Sphinx pose. So by using your core and your glutes, you're eliminating the sinking feeling in the lower back. So there really shouldn't feel like there's any pressure on your lower spine, but you're working from your back muscles and your core. Relaxing that, slide your hands back underneath your shoulders and press yourself onto your hands and knees. From hands and knees, go back to your downward facing dog. In downward dog, come up a little higher on your toes and take small steps up toward the top end of your mat until you arrive in a forward fold. As you relax your neck and shoulders here, you can either hang your arms down or take hold of your elbows or forearms. Relax your arms down and slowly bring yourself up to standing, using your legs, your hamstrings, and glutes to bring you all the way up. Stand tall at the top end of your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. As you exhale, lower your palms down, step back into high plank. And from high plank, lower yourself down through chaturanga. You can lower from your toes or from your knees. You can come down halfway or all the way to the mat. Curl up into cobra pose, or you can press up into upward facing dog. Stretch back into downward facing dog. We'll take about 4 or 5 breaths here. This time, as you come up onto your toes, you can choose to walk, step, or lightly hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. And exhale to fold. Now from here, sit back into chair pose, bending both legs. Engage your core and rise up, reaching your arms up. Press into the floor with your feet and with your legs as you stretch outward with your arms. 2 more breaths. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank. Lower yourself halfway or all the way from your knees or toes. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale to downward dog. Then bring your right foot to the top for warrior one, angling your back foot about 45 degrees and come up. And as you rise up, send your arms up overhead. Press through your feet into the floor and draw length into your spine. Like your tailbone is reaching downward and the crown of your head is drawing upward. Exhale to plant your hands down. You can either step right back into downward dog or take a vinyasa by going to plank, lowering yourself down through chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or upward dog. And exhale to downward dog. Then step your left foot to the top, come up into your warrior one on the left side. Pressing into the edges of the feet, both the inner and outer edges, pressing through the heel and the forefoot so you feel really grounded, and then lengthen out your back body. Exhale, plant your hands. Step all the way back and you can take downward dog or add a vinyasa here. From downward dog, step your right foot to the top once again and revisit warrior one on that right side. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm, and you can either go into eagle arms, bending your elbows and wrapping your palms around together, or you can hug your hands around onto your shoulders. Keep the rest of your warrior one the same. You're pressing through the floor, you're engaging lots of strength in your legs, you're toning your core muscles. Contracting into your core, curl forward, tucking your elbows toward your belly button. Dip your torso just to the inside of that right knee. Keep that strong, and as you inhale, lengthen, lift up just a little, keep your legs pushing down, and then exhale, tuck your elbows toward your belly button. Do one more of those. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, tuck the elbows. Now pressing strong through your legs, come all the way back up. Unwind your arms, release, maybe give your arms a little shake here, and place your hands onto hips. Turn onto the ball of your back foot, lengthen forward so your weight moves into your right leg, and slowly step forward into that right foot. You can start to raise the left leg up behind you. Energize both legs, pressing through the floor. And then you might bring your palms together in front of your chest. Start to stand all the way up. Bring your left knee up in front of you. Bend your standing leg and wrap your left leg over top, sitting back into that right hip. You can keep your hands like this or return to those eagle arms by wrapping your left arm under your right, just like we did in warrior one. And your hands can come together or you can hold the shoulders. Press through your right foot, maybe sit back a little bit more, keeping your core strong. And then slowly unwind, releasing your left foot. Unwind your arms. Take a nice big stretch up over your head. And fold forward, exhale. Inhale, come up halfway. Plant your palms down. Step all the way back. You can take a vinyasa or step back into downward dog. From downward dog, step your left foot up to the top. Come into warrior one on that left side. Wrap your right arm under left for your eagle arms. Keep strong through your lower body, and you're supporting with your core muscles and of course your breath. Start to dip forward, tucking your elbows toward your belly button. Dip just to the inside of that left knee. Inhale, lengthen and lift slightly, keeping the legs strong. And exhale, tuck in a little more. And then inhale, lengthen, lift slightly. Exhale, tuck in a little more. Pressing into the ground, inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, release your arms, maybe shake that out. Bring your hands onto your hips and turn onto the ball of your back foot. Take your weight forward into your left leg and slowly step forward into that left foot, raising the right leg up behind you. Still maintaining that core strength to support your lower back. You might choose to bring your palms together in front of you here, lengthening back through your right heel. Begin to slowly stand all the way upright, bringing the right knee up in front of you. Bend your left leg and wrap your right leg over top, sitting back into the strength of your hips. Option to stay like this, or wrap your right arm under your left, going back to your eagle arms. Squeeze your inner thighs toward each other as you sit back into your leg strength. You're supporting with the core strength and the breath. And then go ahead and unwind it, release your foot down, sweep your arms up overhead, nice big breath. And this time, just exhale the arms all the way down by your sides. Picking up your left foot, step back and turn to face the left side. So you're in 5-pointed star, arms will reach out, toes pointing toward the long edge of your mat. Then pivot your right foot toward the top, turn your back foot in slightly, and bend into your front leg for warrior two. Now you'll probably need to make sure that the stance is long enough to give you space to bend that knee without the knee going way past the ankle. Keep pressing into both feet. Now we're gonna add a little movement to it. Start with a breath in warrior two. As you exhale, straighten your leg, relax the arms down. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And then exhale back to warrior two. Okay, so we'll go through that again. Take a breath here, inhale. Exhale, straighten the leg, relax your arms. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, warrior two. Do that one more time, breath in. Exhale, relax the arms, the leg. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, warrior two. Holding here, stretch a little forward and bring your right forearm onto your right thigh. reach your left arm overhead on an angle, like you're creating a diagonal line from your back heel to your fingertips. Engage your core strength, but at the same time, push from your hips all the way to your feet. All right, let's bring it up. Rise back up to warrior two, straighten your leg, relax your arms, pivot back in toward five-pointed star, and then we'll turn to the left side. So left foot turns toward the back end of your mat, right foot turns in slightly, and then you're going to warrior two. Press into the floor and lengthen from your tailbone to crown. Let's add in some movement. Inhale here. Exhale, relax your arms, straighten the leg. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And exhale, warrior two. Take a breath in. Exhale, relax the arms. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, warrior two. Take a breath in once more. Straighten your leg, exhale, relax the arms. Inhale, sweep up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Stretch a little forward so you can lean your left forearm onto your left thigh. Reach this right arm overhead at an angle, stretching long through your upper side. Elongate your tailbone toward your back right heel and lengthen all the way even through the back side of your neck. Press all the way back up. Turn toward your five-pointed star. Bring your hands to hips and just soften up your knees a little so that you can fold forward here. Your hands can lower to your mat, or you can place a prop like a block or pillow under your hands, and just let your neck and shoulders lengthen and relax. Inhale to lengthen. From here, walk your fingertips around toward the top end of the mat. As you do, let your feet rotate as well so your toes point forward. And then bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Walk your right foot closer to the outer edge of the mat. And we're just going to place the hands close together, thumbs touching. And this will make it really easy to step your left foot up and around your left pinky finger. So your feet are a bit wider than your hips. Turn your feet out slightly and lower slowly into Malasana, into your squat. Malasana can be done with a block underneath your tailbone, which gives you more support and height. From Malasana, we'll set up for crow pose or Bakasana, which is your arm balance, and take a little bit of time to play around with this. You can watch my tutorial video on Bakasana. I'll link that down below in the description. From your squat position, bring your fingertips down and let your hips come up a little bit. Place your hands basically the same as you would for a plank. And that will allow you to place your knees right up onto the backs of your arms on your triceps. You can start to shift your weight forward into your hands a little bit at a time. As you do this, grip the mat with your hands, hug your elbows and knees inward, and engage your core, lifting your belly button to spine. Just like we did at the beginning of class, you'll use that core strength to start to pull the feet up closer to your body That's going to give you more lift and support here in the arm balance. Take some time with it, and once you're done with the arm balance, let's meet back in the squat position. We'll use a similar transition next. Bring your hands to the mat, bring your hips up a bit, and you'll leave your right foot at the top where it is. Step your left foot back and lower your left knee to the floor into a lizard lunge. Now you might bring something underneath your hands like a block just to prop you up a bit more. Gently allow your hips to move into the lunge. And if you'd like, you can add a twist by bringing your right hand over onto your right leg and turning your chest toward the right. And you can also bend your back knee, curling the heel in using your hamstrings at first, or maybe reach back with your right hand. If the foot's available to take hold of, you can grab your foot and just gently draw it toward you. Release the foot. And to switch sides, we're basically just going to step that left foot up and around the left pinky and step the right foot back. Lower your right knee, setting up your lizard lunge on your left side. And then you can add a twist if you like. Left hand goes over onto your thigh, turning toward the left. You can bend up that back knee, either holding it there or reach back with your left hand toward the foot. Then release that foot. This time, sweep your left leg all the way back behind you so that you arrive on your hands and knees. And from there, you can walk a little closer to the top end of your mat with your knees, swing your legs around, and lie all the way onto your back. As you lie on your back, bend up your legs, placing your feet onto the floor. Slide your heels a bit forward there, so there's at least a few inches of space between your heels and your hips. And this will depend a bit on the length of your thigh bones, so you might have to adjust as we get into our bridge pose. Place your hands by your hips, press your heels down and activate your glutes, and use those glutes to lift your hips up, opening the front side of your hips. We're going to keep those glutes really strong here, and if you feel like your knees are restricted a bit, walk your heels slightly further forward. Keep pressing down into the floor, engaging to lift the hips. Now, if you want, you can walk your arms under you and interlace your fingers together. Or if you prefer, just keep your hands as they are right beside you. Let your hips lower down and just relax out into a comfy position. Now, we started off this practice with really obvious core work. Throughout the practice, we've been using the core for stability and extra strength in our postures. Now, interestingly enough, when we do back bends, we're actually using the core a bit here too to help support and take pressure off the lower back. So let's set it back up. Start with your heels grounded, squeeze into your glutes to lift your hips up, and you're gonna tone your lower ribs in, your belly button in, as you lift the hips up. So the hip creases are getting longer on the front side, your rib cage actually draws in, so you don't wanna see the rib cage lifting up really high, And that's going to allow you to nicely use your back muscles, but really emphasize the glutes and the hamstrings without putting excess pressure on your lower back. Hold that strength and breathe. Release your hips down, and again, just stretch out into a comfortable position. Now this time, as you bend up your legs, bring your feet to the floor and walk your feet out a little bit wider toward the edges of the mat. And you can take your arms up overhead into a cactus position. And we'll just rotate the knees from right to left a few times. And you can increase the stretch on the top hip by squeezing the hips and pressing the top hip forward on each side. Come back through center, just walk your feet back into normal, and cross your right ankle to your left thigh so that you come into a thread the needle position. Now we're going to go over a few different variations so you can follow along and choose which variation you like the best today. Thread the needle can be done just like this with the left foot resting, or bring the legs in and thread your arms through to interlace around your left hamstrings or shin. Now an alternative variation, which may or may not increase the sensation for you, you might have to try it and see. Instead of the thread the needle position, you're going to wrap that right leg over more tightly, bring your knees toward you, and you can hold your knees, your shins, or even your feet. Draw the knees toward your chest gently, and play around with the angle of your shins and legs. This might give you more control over where exactly you pinpoint the stretch in your hips. So try and see which variation really makes sense. We're going to hold there for a little longer, so make sure the sensation is a comfortable, mild to medium intensity. Now just keeping that right leg crossed, lower down your left foot, wrap the right leg over more tightly if it's not already, and lift and shift your hips an inch or two to the right. You can let your knees twist over to the left and open your right arm to the right. If the cross-legged twist feels uncomfortable, just uncross and stack your knees like we did at the beginning. Slowly twist back to center, unwinding your legs. And then take your left ankle to your right thigh. You can do your thread the needle variation, or you can cross that left leg over more tightly, bring the knees in toward you, and take hold of your legs or your feet. Play around with it and see if you can pinpoint a really accurate stretch and let yourself linger in that more subtle amount of intensity that gives you the opportunity to relax within the sensation. Keeping your left leg crossed, release your right foot down, wrap the left leg over more tightly, lift and shift your hips a little bit to the left, and let your knees twist over to the right hand side as you open your left arm to the left. Take your twist back to center, unwind your legs, and stretch all the way out into Shavasana for your final rest. Can begin to bring some movement back. Start to stretch out through your arms and your legs. Eventually reach your arms all the way overhead into a really nice big stretch. Bend into both of your knees And roll yourself over onto one side from there. Bring yourself up to a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Hopefully, core strength was fun and exciting, and you feel really strong and energized as you step off of your mat. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.